Hello, this is Tracy from Simply Into My Nails. Just coming to show you the Gel 2 Steam Gel Polish Remover, which I purchased from the Creative Beauty Group in the UK. It's a two-handed steaming gel remover system, which has got two compartments. I've used it already a couple of times for clients, and I've used it to remove OPI gel colour so far, and it has coped really well with that polish. Both times that I have used it, I've actually tweaked the way that I've used it to remove the polish, and have managed to get the sort of best results out of it by doing that. So today is the first time that I'm going to be removing a Gel 2 polish. On my nails at the moment, I have Gel 2 Forget Me Not, which is this sort of Tiffany blue colour, and Gel 2 Metallic, which is this silver. Initially I did have the silver stamped with a black polish, but I took that off about 2 days ago when I initially was supposed to do this review, but I haven't done it until now. Unfortunately, because I put off doing this removal when I was supposed to a couple of days ago, I've now just this second managed to completely wreck two of my nails on my right hand. I was picking up something really heavy, dropped it, and managed to chip the very corner of that nail, so now it's completely missing. I don't know if you can see that. And this one is just like a horror story. It's completely broken. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to soak them off anyway, and then I'm going to probably fix that later on. But anyway, back to the steam remover. As I said before, it's got two compartments. Both are exactly the same, and then it has these sort of hand compartments which come off. That's the back of them, that's the top. The client puts their hands in and holds it like this whilst they're in the machine, not like this. They have to sort of grip this circle here. It's quite difficult for me to get my thumb placement correct, but I think that's about right. I've got quite big thumbs, and now it's really awkward to do it because I've now got an injured thumb right there, which really hurts. Also, each one of these compartments has like a little plastic insert, which is what is filled, it's like a little reservoir which is filled with the gel polish remover. And then it has this little metal plate inside, which is what heats the gel remover. For this gel polish soak off, I'll be using the Gel 2 Gentle Soak, and I will be adding 5 ml of Gentle Soak into this compartment. So I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to plug the remover in. Now I'm only going to do one compartment, because I'm not going to soak off both of my hands at the same time. Now I can't remember which one of these compartments it is. I think it's the right one that you can heat up by itself. I have tried removing a gel polish manicure before on my hands when I first got this remover, and although I was hoping that removing the polish from both hands would be really easy, it's a bit of a nightmare, because then you end up having two hands which have got no foil on them. It just ends up being a mess because you've got bits of gel polish flaking off whilst you're trying to do one hand, and then by the time you've scraped it off of one hand, the other hand has started to reset. So I just do one at a time now. It's much easier. So on this side of the remover, you have a switch which has the on, off, on for one compartment and on for both compartments. So this goes back on. It just slides back into place, and then you can switch on the machine. So now I've just moved the compartment, the reservoir compartment, from this side, the right side, into the left side, because if you have it switched on to just one compartment, it's actually the left side that heats up, whereas the instructions here actually, which come with the remover, actually say that it's the right side. So that beep is to say that the compartment is now warm, and then it starts setting off this 10-minute timer here. So what I will do, whilst that is heating, I would have filed my top coat, but it's already done now, so I'm just going to quickly file my top coat. And it's not just a quick sort of breaking of the top coat, I'm literally going to file off all of the top coat. So there's that hand done. So I'll just wipe off the dust. Or I could use my OPI Mr. Fluffy, which probably would do a better job of it. And then at this point I will reset the timer by turning it off and on again. And I've actually put that on the wrong way around so that you can see it. So just taking it off. That's just beeped again to say that it's ready. So before I put my hand in there, because I have just completely wrecked my poor thumb, I'm just going to pop some cuticle oil on there, and I might as well do it to the others, as that tends to help make the polish come off quicker. So now that's at 10 minutes on the back of the timer, and I'm actually timing this process as well on my phone. So I'll be back. So that beeping is the sound of the steamer saying that that cycle is over. So here's a moment of truth. I'm just going to grab my couch roll again and my long birchwood or orangewood stick. I think that's birchwood. And then I have a orangewood stick. Those are the two sticks that I usually use when removing my Gel 2 polish. And I also use a plastic backed pad. And I also use acetone. So I've got that in my little mender pump. Some people use the gentle soak, but as that costs more, I prefer just to use the acetone to remove it. So before, I was taking out the whole hand, and I'll show you what that looks like at the moment. So it's all completely crinkled and lifting, apart from the thumb, which I always have trouble with, and that finger. So what I'm going to do is pop them back in. And a great tip that I've been told is to go one finger at a time, keeping the other fingers inside of the remover machine, and then remove the polish one finger at a time. So as I could see that one hadn't lifted properly yet, I'm going to start with my middle finger, and I hope you can see that. See if I can move the camera closer. And then what I would do is just push the gel polish off. Some people use like a metal cuticle pusher. Sometimes I do prefer to use wood because it's more gentle. And plus at this angle I really need all the help that I can get, basically, with making sure that I'm not scraping at my actual nail. So just going to push that off as best I can from this angle. Hope you can see that. Let's see if I can move this a bit closer. A bit too bright. Now I can actually just scrape that. This is the best thing about Gel 2, is that it's so forgiving. Like if I tried to scrape IBD or OPI like this, it would take bits of the nail with it because of the base coat, but because this one doesn't have base coat in it, it doesn't do that. You can take it off. So I take a few good pumps of acetone, rub that residue, and then pop that nail, just so you can see, and then pop that back into the remover. So switch it off and on again, just so that it's still doing a cycle whilst my hand's in there. Now this nail has got metallic and extreme French pink. I did a layer of extreme French pink underneath. Some Gel 2 colours need it to help with the colour staying on, like Poisoned Apple. But this colour, I've just put it on because I didn't want the metallic to be too silver, if that makes sense. The lighting is terrible, it's really bright. Hopefully that's a bit better. So I'm going to pop that one back in. This is really awkward doing it on myself. Then for this finger, so I'm being very light, although you can probably hear me scraping the gel. I'm not scraping my nail at all. There you go. So I'll go back to the first finger. And that one I probably didn't remove enough of the top coat before it went into the machine, which is why this one's being a bit more difficult. So I'm going to pop that back in, and then the same with the thumb. The thumbs are always an actual nightmare. When I first did it, I ended up just re-wrapping my thumb with a OPI gel colour wrap. So if I take my whole hand out, that is how it's come off at the 10-minute mark on my nails. So it's the thumb. I hope that's in focus. I can't really tell if it is or not. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Usually the two most difficult ones are the thumb and little finger, but I was kind of trying to hold it inside of the machine like this, which is probably why this one has kind of gone off a little bit. So I'm just going to pop them in there again for another 5 minutes and then have another go at it. So I'll be back. So the beeper's just gone off again. Probably been about 4 minutes or so. So I'm going to try and do that cycle again. So I'm going to start on this finger. And that looks really good. Now usually when it's at this stage, I will switch to an orange wood stick. I don't know if you can see that. And then just use that to take those little residual bits off. And then I'll get my pad and rub the nail. It's so awkward doing it in this machine. I'm just going to take it out so you can see what I'm doing. And rub pretty hard And as you can see with that nail, it's pretty much off. There's just a few little bits. So what I'll do then is just use the orange wood stick. Just concentrate on those areas where it's really adhered to the nail. Now, to me, Gel 2 is harder to take off than other brands in some ways, in that it takes more effort on my part in terms of elbow grease to get it off, but I know how long this is going to take to come off. Every time I do a Gel 2 removal, it will take me the same amount of time pretty much. And the nails always look in great condition. Like, this hasn't had my normal base coat of Vitagel on, and it still looks really healthy. And that's all of the Gel 2 off now. So that was 15 minutes altogether. And if I have a look at my timer, yeah, and it's off. So this finger here will probably have softened a little bit, or gone hard again, sorry. So I'll just do my usual process of rubbing the nail with the birchwood stick. They're a bit gentler. There's less chance of sort of jabbing the nail with one of those. And then use the orange wood stick to get any stubborn bits off. And then in with the pad. And there you go, there's that nail off. I could probably get away with doing this one as well. Although the longer that you keep the nails out of the steamer, they start to re-harden. So that's started to re-harden, I can feel that. I'll probably still get it off, but I don't want to risk ruining my nails, so that will do for that one. I can still feel that there's like residue, and I can peel it, I can sort of get it off my nail that way. So what I'm going to do is reset. Just going to check the reservoir quickly, because I've reset this a couple of times. And you can see, I'll show you, after 2 goes, there's still acetone, or not acetone, there's still remover inside the reservoir, and then it's got little bits, oops, just spilt most of it now. It's got little bits of polish in it, which is really gross. But I'm just going to pop some more in, and I'm going to put that back in, and now I'm going to remove the rest of this polish off of this hand, and then I'm going to do this hand as well, because this is going to just take way too long otherwise. So I'll be back once I have removed the polish from both of my hands, and then I will let you know exactly what I think of this remover. So I've soaked the gel polish off from both of my hands. It's done a good job. I think that the Gel 2 Steam Gel Remover works best with Gel 2 polishes. I have used it with OPI, as I've said before, and it worked okay with that. In fact, one of my clients has difficult removals all the time, and we managed to cut the time of removal for her in half. So, and that was just with using this. Also, I always keep forgetting that OPI gel colour has a soak off time of 15 minutes, and obviously this only has a 10-minute cycle. So I did 2 cycles to remove OPI gel colour, removing all of the top coat beforehand with the file, and then soaking for 2 cycles, and it came right off. It was brilliant. It's easier to use this to remove polish from a client's nails, because obviously they can still keep 4 of their fingers in and take 1 out whilst you're scraping the polish off of it. When you're trying to do that yourself, it's really difficult, and then when you're trying to do that yourself on camera, it's even more difficult. So that's why I just did this hand off camera, because it was just a little bit of a nightmare, to be honest, trying to do it and get the camera angles right. So anyway, in summary, I think it's a great piece of kit. I mean, this cost me £140 plus VAT, so it's like 170 quid. It's not cheap, but I think that it's a really good tool to have. It's also very conditioning for the nails as well, because of the steam, and the heat obviously helps the gel release from the nail plate quicker. I think if I was removing other brands of gel polish on a regular basis, I probably wouldn't invest in getting one of these because of the cost. But because I use Gel 2 a lot with my clients, it's perfect, and I can also make it adapt to the other brands that I use if I need to. And if it doesn't work with those brands, then I'm happy to continue using my OPI wraps and whichever remover, so the Expert Touch or Gentle Soak, whichever one works best for that client. So anyway, I hope you liked my review. Hopefully I didn't forget anything, but I probably did, seeing as I've been in pain because of my poorly thumb, which I just smashed, and my nail that I've broken. It's all been a bit of a traumatic evening, but I've managed to get through it okay, and hopefully you'll find this review useful and interesting. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye!